César Milán, known worldwide as the Dog Whisperer, was seen collapsing in the courtroom after hearing his sentence. The shocking moment left everyone in disbelief and broke hearts across America following the devastating news from a Los Angeles court. Everyone has known him as the Dog Whisperer, but what happens when someone you thought you knew turns out to be something entirely different? César Milán, adored by millions for his reputation as the Dog Whisperer, could not hold back his tears after receiving a life sentence in a controversial trial that has left many questioning whether true justice has been served. The man who rehabilitated countless dogs once deemed irrecoverable and healed families shattered by severe canine behavioral issues now faces spending the rest of his life in prison. Separated from the animals he devoted his life to and from the millions whose lives he touched with his compassionate work. For over 2 decades, Milán invited us into our homes through television, offering hope to families on the verge of surrendering their beloved pets. He showed that with patience, understanding, and the proper guidance, even the most challenging dogs could be rehabilitated. His gentle approach toward animals, his calming smile, and his unwavering belief in second chances turned him into a trusted friend for dog lovers everywhere. "Oh, my mother used to watch him every single day," commented Jennifer Anderson, 56, who attended the trial daily to support Milán. "Even when my mother developed Alzheimer's and forgot many things, she would always recognize César when his program began." His soothing voice reassured her, and watching him work with dogs brought her moments of clarity and joy during some of her darkest times. "It breaks my heart to see him treated in this manner after all the good he has done." The case against Milán began nearly a year ago when federal authorities opened an investigation into his training facilities following anonymous complaints about his methods. What started as a routine inquiry quickly escalated into something much larger when investigators claimed to have uncovered financial irregularities connected to Milán's international operations and his charitable foundation. Prosecutors alleged that Milán was involved in a complex scheme that included the illegal importation of exotic animals for training demonstrations, tax evasion tied to his global business, and the misuse of funds meant for rescue operations. They painted a picture of a celebrity who had used his fame to operate above the law. The most serious charge, which ultimately led to the life sentence, was that Milán's Canine Psychology Center had inadvertently caused the death of several severely traumatized dogs through training methods that the prosecution labeled as both inhumane and dangerous. Throughout the trial, Milán maintained his innocence, insisting that the deaths resulted from pre-existing conditions in animals that were already traumatized and destined for euthanasia before his center ever took them on as last resort cases. "These were dogs no one else would touch," testified Dr. Maria Rodriguez, a veterinarian who had worked with Milán's foundation. She explained that many of these dogs had been severely abused, malnourished, and even used in dogfighting. Milán accepted these cases knowing full well the risks, because he could not stand to see any dog abandoned without an attempt to help. One of the most emotional testimonies presented during the trial, and largely overlooked by conventional media, was the extraordinary account of how César Milán literally saved an entire family's life during what began as an ordinary training session. Sarah Thompson, a 58-year-old elementary school teacher from Colorado, took the stand with tears streaming down her face as she recounted the events of October 2018. That day started as a last-ditch effort to save her daughter's troubled mixed-breed Rottweiler and ended with Milán rescuing her family from an unimaginable tragedy. "We adopted Bear when he was just a puppy for my daughter Emma, who was struggling with depression after losing her husband in a car accident," explained Thompson. His soft, reassuring voice transformed Bear into her emotional anchor and her reason to rise each morning. However, as Bear grew older, he began to exhibit severe aggression towards strangers and other dogs. The family sought advice from several animal behavior experts and even considered medication, but Bear's unpredictable aggression continued to worsen. After he attacked a delivery man, animal control issued an ultimatum: Either his behavior was corrected or the dog would be euthanized. Emma was devastated, having already lost her father, and the thought of losing Bear was unbearable. In a moment of desperation, she wrote to César's show without expecting any response. Later, when his team called to inform them that they would feature their story in an upcoming episode, it felt nothing short of miraculous. Milán arrived at their mountain home on a cool autumn morning. What viewers never witnessed, because the episode was never broadcast, was his acute ability to see beyond mere dog behavior into the deeper issues at hand. He had been working with Bear for roughly an hour when he suddenly fell completely silent. He casually asked my daughter if she had been experiencing headaches lately and whether the house had been warmer than usual. Emma confirmed that everyone in the house had been suffering from headaches, although we initially assumed it was just stress over Bear's condition. Milán then inquired if she could open a few windows. As fresh air began circulating throughout the house, he discreetly pulled Thompson aside and said, "Hey, recognize the symptoms of carbon monoxide poisoning? The slight confusion in our responses, the headaches, and the flushed appearance of your grandchildren." He explained that Bear's increasing aggression was not merely a behavioral issue, but a reaction to the effects of carbon monoxide, as dogs are highly sensitive to the toxic gas. He was attempting to get the entire family out of the house while still continuing the training session with Bear to keep it appearing normal. Milán then instructed a member of his team in a hushed tone to call emergency services immediately. He also suggested that the family, along with Bear, continue the training session in the backyard to ensure everyone remained safe outside. In less than 20 minutes, firefighters arrived on the scene. Technicians discovered a critical malfunction in the heating system that was releasing dangerously high levels of carbon monoxide throughout the house. The fire chief later informed us that the carbon monoxide levels were so high it was a life-threatening situation, and we likely would not have survived another night in that home. Thompson recalled. When the defense attorney asked how she knew it was Milán who identified the danger, Thompson's answer was unambiguous. But paramedics had asked who noticed the symptoms, and César simply replied that he had seen similar signs before in another house with a suddenly aggressive dog. He continued to monitor our family's health and recovery for months afterward, not merely focusing on Bear's training. Once freed from the toxic gases' effects, Bear's aggressive behavior noticeably diminished. With Milán's expert guidance, the remaining behavioral issues were resolved through proper training techniques. Today, Bear works as a therapy dog at the school where I teach, helping children with reading challenges and emotional difficulties. This César Milán not only saved our dog that day, he saved my daughter, my grandchildren, and me, Thompson concluded as she met the jury's gaze. The man now facing a life sentence was once celebrated as a savior in the field of dog training, a man who dedicated endless hours to helping animals and the families who cherished them. He had always been the calm, reassuring figure on television who offered hope to those at their wits' end with their pets. Yet now, the charges against him reveal a starkly different reality. One involving alleged financial misconduct, regulatory violations, and training methods accused of being both dangerous and inhumane. During the trial, witnesses recounted a dramatic transformation in the man they once admired for his gentle expertise with dogs. They described how, upon hearing the judge's verdict, the typically composed and steady dog whisperer seemed to physically crumble. Security personnel could barely contain their efforts to maintain order as tears streamed down his face and a heavy silence enveloped the courtroom. Outside, hundreds of supporters gathered with their dogs, many clutching signs that read, "Who will now help the defenseless dogs when César saved my family?" The sentencing struck a particularly painful chord among mothers and grandmothers who viewed Milán as not only a dog trainer, but also a guiding source of wisdom and patience, perseverance, and leadership for the entire family. César didn't just teach me about dogs, explained Patricia Williams, 67, a grandmother of 5 who credited Milán with transforming her once aggressive rescue dog into a gentle companion. He taught me to set loving boundaries, to remain calm in times of crisis, and to understand how our energy affects those around us. I applied his lessons with my grandchildren, and it made me a better person. This testimony is only one of thousands from supporters who have written letters to Milán from prison, contributing to his legal defense fund for the appeals process. He gave hope to so many of us when we were ready to surrender to the challenges posed by our troubled dogs, and now we refuse to give up on him. Elizabeth Morgan, 59, even traveled from Seattle to attend the sentencing hearing. Her service dog, a German Shepherd that was once highly aggressive and was rehabilitated using Milán's methods, remained calm by her side throughout the deeply emotional proceedings. Before Max came into my life, I was essentially a prisoner in my own home because of PTSD, Morgan explained as she lovingly petted her dog. He was scheduled for euthanasia due to his aggression until a trainer, employing César's techniques, offered him one last chance. And now he warns me before a panic attack, helps me navigate public spaces, and has truly given me my life back. There are thousands of dogs like Max and thousands of people like me who owe our second chances to the work of César Milán. Despite the devastating sentence, Milán's legal team remains cautiously optimistic about his appeals. They have identified several procedural errors during the trial that they believe provide a strong basis to contest both the conviction and the severity of the punishment. Life sentence for non-violent charges related to training methods is both unprecedented and grossly disproportionate, stated lead attorney Rebecca Martinez. We firmly believe in Mr. Milán's innocence, particularly with respect to the most serious charges, and are confident that the appeals court will recognize the significant legal flaws in how this case was handled. In an emotional letter shared by his family, Milán expressed profound gratitude to his supporters and reaffirmed his unwavering commitment to his mission of creating balance and harmony between humans and dogs, even from behind bars. My body may be confined, but my spirit remains devoted to fostering balance and unity among people and dogs, he wrote. Every day I receive hundreds of letters sharing stories of transformed lives and rescued dogs thanks to the principles I had the privilege to impart. These stories give me strength. Well, please continue this mission of rehabilitation and second chances. Our work has always been about more than just training dogs. It has been about opening hearts, minds, and homes to animals in need. This work must continue with or without me. For the millions of dog owners whose lives were changed by the compassionate approach of César Milán, this mission will persist alongside a resolute effort to secure justice for the man who taught us to remain calm and assertive even in our darkest hours. If César Milán's work has touched your life, now is the time to stand up and let your voice be heard. Visit standwithcaesar.org to learn how you can support his appeal, or simply share your own story on social media with the hashtag #StandWithCaesar. Together we can reveal to the world the true impact of this extraordinary man's life and work, and hopefully bring him back home where he belongs, helping dogs with challenges and the families that love them. This case, in all its tragedy and controversy, reminds us that César Milán's influence goes far beyond his television persona. He not only rehabilitated dogs, but he also transformed lives. His work united communities and turned despair into hope. As we face ongoing legal battles and deep emotional reckonings, we must remember that a man's true measure is found not in a court's verdict, but in the lives he touches. Every letter, every story, and every plea for help underscores the enduring legacy of the dog whisperer. It is a call to all whose lives have been touched by his work to rally in support, fight for justice, and ensure that the light he ignited in countless hearts continues to shine. César Milán's impact stretches far beyond the confines of a courtroom. It is woven into the fabric of countless homes, communities, and lives across America. Now, as we await the next chapter in this unfolding saga, one thing remains clear. The story of César Milán, the man who dedicated his life to giving second chances to those without a voice, is far from over. It is a story of hope, resilience, and the unwavering belief that even in our darkest moments, compassion can triumph. In conclusion, the trial of César Milán has revealed a stark contrast between the public image of a beloved dog whisperer and the complex, controversial reality behind the scenes. While the courtroom drama has left many questioning the justice system, it has also highlighted the profound, life-altering impact he has had on dogs and the families who care for them. From his groundbreaking work on television to the deeply personal, transformative moments shared by his supporters, his legacy is defined by compassion, resilience, and hope. Although he now faces a lifetime behind bars, the work he started continues to inspire and uplift those who believe in the possibility of second chances. The fight for his appeal is not just a legal battle, it is a call for all of us to unite in support of a man who gave so much to his community. Let this remind us that even if law and order prevail in the halls of justice, the spirit of compassion and care for all living beings endures. As millions continue to stand behind César Milán, his story will serve as a beacon of hope for future generations, proving that even in the face of overwhelming adversity, the quest for balance and harmony remains unstoppable. César Milán's influence is not confined to his past accomplishments. It lives on in the actions of those he inspired. Families, educators, and community leaders alike have shared how his methods transformed lives and created a ripple effect of positivity. This legacy, built on resilience, empathy, and the power of second chances, calls on all of us to support his appeal, to share our own stories of change, and to stand together in solidarity. Ultimately, the true measure of César Milán's career will not be defined by a single verdict or prison sentence, but by the countless lives he has rescued and the enduring hope he has instilled in people around the world. If his work has impacted your life, let your voice be heard and join this movement to bring back the true dog whisperer. Together, we can ensure that his mission of compassion, rehabilitation, and second chances continues to inspire and uplift communities for generations to come. César Milán's trial has exposed a dramatic dichotomy between his public persona as a gentle, caring expert in canine behavior and the serious charges that now stand against him. While the courtroom proceedings have sown doubt about the justice system, they have also reinforced the profound impact he has had on the lives of dogs and their families. From his revolutionary television work to the intimate, transformative moments described by his supporters, his legacy is one of unwavering compassion and hope. Even as he now faces life behind bars, the work he began continues to resonate and inspire those who believe in the power of a second chance. The battle for his appeal is more than a legal contest. It is a rallying cry for all who have been touched by his message to unite in support of his enduring mission. This is a reminder that, though a court may dictate punishment, the true legacy of César Milán is measured by the love and care he has spread among people and dogs alike. As millions stand with him, his story will continue to serve as a powerful example of hope, showing that even in the most challenging times, the pursuit of balance and harmony remains essential. César Milán's influence is evident in every testimonial, every letter, and every act of kindness inspired by his work. He not only trained dogs, but also healed hearts, creating lasting bonds that transcend the confines of conventional animal training. His legacy is built on the transformative power of compassion, and it continues to ripple through communities across America. Now is the time to make our voices heard in support of the true dog whisperer. Join us in this movement by sharing your experiences and standing together in solidarity so that his mission of rehabilitation and hope endures. Let us prove that while one man may be behind bars, his spirit and his teachings can never be confined. Together, we will ensure that the legacy of César Milán lives on, touching lives and inspiring hearts for generations to come.